anytime I've ever had crews out, they've had to have long pants and certain type boots and, you know, vests and hats, and I just don't know what is the safety issue of that, and where does that come into play? I think there was even a question of whether the prison would even let them on the compound, and my first reaction, having worked there, is no. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of other things we need to look at, you know, which I don't mind looking at them. I just want to make sure we're covered.
Yeah, I don't mind considering it, and the work types are, that's a difficult thing to, it's hard to say who can and who can't. And I got experience with this issue because this came up a lot with DOT. And of course, in maintenance, all our folks had uniforms, and we had a lot of requests to wear shorts, especially the bridge crews, the bridge inspectors. They were divers. And theirs was kind of more of a specialized group, and that's what I'm saying about the work types, because you get into some work types that it might possibly be viable for them to wear shorts. With the crews, we always stood by the fact that you never know what you're going to have to do that day. Yeah, you might plan on just driving a dump truck all day, but something happens in the middle of the day. You've got a sinkhole, or you've got something happening under a bridge. Well, now you're down there working in briars and bamboos and stuff like that, and so now all of a sudden you're in shorts and you're having to work in conditions like that. So our work conditions vary so much during the day. Routinely, you could get by with shorts, but then there was always those other times. Kind of like the argument I had with a lady dump truck driver. She said, all I do is drive a dump truck. I can wear the steel-toed boots when I need them. I'm like, if you knew when you needed them, you could just move your foot out of the way. That's the problem. You don't know when you'll need them. You know, that's the whole thing. You don't know when you're going to need that attire. And I don't know. I can see it with UPS drivers because they're pretty much just going from the truck to a door. But when your crew's working out in the field, that's tough.
I spoke with corrections about this because they too have mentioned it to me, you know, in the past. Anyway, I talked to Lieutenant Martin, and he first told me, no, they would not allow the inmate supervisors, you know, that our inmate supervisors that go on site to get the prisoners and all that. And he thought that there may be something in writing in their rules that would prohibit that. He called me back, and I asked him to send that to me. He called me back and he said he was mistaken, there was nothing in writing, but that he would request that we send something to him and he would forward it to the warden to get his okay on it prior to doing that. But now he expressed some concerns to me about it because of the safety issues involved. And he said even though they're inmate supervisors and they may not actually have the equipment, at times they may have to take over the equipment to get something done or to show them how, or even if an inmate is using like a weed eater, that it could sling something into them. So, I mean, they have some concerns, but they didn't tell us no.
Okay.
Who's the request coming from? I mean, I haven't had that request.
No.
My thought process is, if you're talking about a UPS driver, that man don't have air conditioner. I happen to know he doesn't. But if we're talking about a dump truck driver, a motor grader operator, we've got air conditioning. Is there going to be that much difference? And I don't know who's making the request. It hasn't been made to me.
Well, what I had was inmate supervisor.
I've had inmates, I've had road and bridge personnel.
I just haven't.
I'm not opposed to it, I just would have to know how it's, what group. You know what I mean? Like a mechanic can mechanic in shorts, but if you're down there kneeling on that concrete, it ain't necessarily the best thing. I don't know, it just,
Your
need
dress
a little more
code-
detail before I could go
Dress
on with
code, Mr. Chairman, was put there for a reason. And you can't sit and say road and bridge do it one way, inmate supervisor do it another way. The thing I got into 4 years ago, and we addressed this, and it was modified. If you the interpretation of the OHR office, if you let one person do it, what about you ladies that work at the office, they'll be hitting you up, can we wear shorts? So we kinda left it alone, and it has always been there. It's mostly the inmate supervisor, road and bridge. It's got some that used to didn't wanna wear uniforms and wanted to wear the different kind of breeches. As long as you're uniformed and you are paying for them, the citizens of Washington County is paying for these uniforms, it ought to be kind of cut and dry. We don't buy your uniforms, you wear them.
So what you're saying is the uniform should be uniform.
But I'm not saying nothing, I'm retired. But this ain't the first time we battled this. I didn't care for them wearing shorts.
This is an annual thing at DOT, we did it every summer.
It is, it's an ongoing thing, but.
But you always got those issues. When Commissioner Kent, I'm sure he don't mind me telling this, but when he worked with DC, some of the ladies in the office could wear what they called skirts, which was like a skirt shorts. But then Mr. Kent shows up in skirts. Well, he gets written up.
It's
So,
gotta have a fair playing field.
Did you know what bathroom you used?
That was always my
They didn't have that at the
problem.
time.
They didn't have that.
Distinguish who could wear shorts and who couldn't if you allowed one to do it.
is there anything we can do to clarify bathroom issues? I want men's, women's, and all of us. I want us to have 3 bathrooms.
We're working
I just don't want them mixed.
I can help clarify that. And be happy to, Mr. Chairman.
It's totally up to the board. I told them I would bring it to the board for consideration.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
And I will consider it. I mean, yeah, it is. And I totally understand why somebody would want to wear shorts. And if the job is such that you can safely wear shorts and it's going to be that way to where it's going to be that way throughout the day, you don't have to worry about all of a sudden having to go work in a different environment. Well, I'm all for it. I just don't know how, in what group.
That's me.
Mr. Goodman, from your
I'll
standpoint,
give-
as an attorney, what would you think?
I would consider safety first. Everything else would be secondary, but I'd look at it from a liability standpoint. And I don't know, I'm like Chairman Bush, I don't know enough about the specifics of being what's requested. Nobody's asked me about it, but I would just look at safety first.
Can we get Marlon and Rich to look at it? If they think it's perfectly fine the way it is, we'll just leave it the way it is.
Whatever, I'll defer to David Corbin, whatever he thinks.
Stand to the 31st, I'll be there.
Sure gonna miss you, brother David.
I'm gonna miss y'all too.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Gothard, for bringing that up. And we will look at it. And like I said, I don't have a problem with it if we know the work types are such that they don't need long pants. The next thing is contracting out 4 FEMA projects. Commissioner Gothard.
Okay, I just wanted to see if the board would be interested in entertaining some information from Cliff. I've got 4 PWs that I've identified. I got all the PWs, all the work that's been done on every PW in the districts from Road and Bridge this week. And they told me that the ones that have had no work, some work, partial work. But I've got 4 PWs that I've identified that have large amounts of dirt and rock that we're gonna need. One of them 916 loads, just one PW. With 5 trucks running and a little over a year to get this done on an extension, we're never going to get it done. And so I wanted to see if the board would entertain the idea of looking at 4 more PWs, large PWs, and see if we could contract it out. I checked with Debbie, and the large projects that we've been doing, that we've contracted out using contract labor, we're getting our money back in about 60 days. That's a pretty quick turnaround from what we're used to. And so for these 4 PWs, I wanted to see if the board would entertain us getting Cliff to bring some information here to see if it's going to be feasible. So with these 4, we can at least get this work done.
They wasn't included in the first round? Why
No,
wasn't it?
because that Greenhead project just by itself is it's 7 miles long.
Why wasn't they included in the original contract?
I don't know. I didn't choose those roads. I have no idea.
We had big ones and we had small ones. We was gonna contract out all the big ones. We went through the whole process.
And the one they've got in mind is a big one right now. It's a huge project down there that's going on at Greenhead Road right now.
and that's being contracted.
Yes, yes.
That was part of the plan.
But with these four right here, with the amount of, and all, one of these PWs, the 916 is on Highway 20. They're going to have to bring those trucks from Highway 20 either to Hero Pit or to Roach, which Johnny's not sure there's even enough dirt in Roach. From Hero to Highway 20, carry this dirt back and forth. But we've got some contractors that have pits in Bay County on Highway 20, we believe. That we could contract, they're right there at the roads. I mean, they could put it down so much faster than what we're gonna be able to do and get these, at least these large things, because when you go down to Singer Road and some of those that are down highway, way down Highway 20 to the Bay County line, it's going to take our trucks a long time.
Are these all in your district?
Yes, all in District 5.
I thought that's what we were doing anyway, just contracting them all out.
So you're just gonna work with Cliff and come up with a contract?
Well, that's what I wanna do, because I just don't think we're gonna get it done. I mean,
I think we can add on to the existing contract with the numbers that we've got. I mean, so much,
and when they can, I don't know. Another one is down near the Crystal Lake area. Some of them, another one's 593 loads.
I thought we'd already voted.
It would be ideal if we could add that to the existing contract. Could we amend the contract for that amount, or is that too much?
We can check with the contractor to see if there's any issues and look at it, but that would be the ideal thing to do.
We could add them to
What's
the
there.
existing.
Mainly because we got a great price on that contract, and we'll never get that with anybody else. If we could just, if he'd be willing to adjust that, and if we can amend it, if the dollar amount is not so much that it's,
The cost of the unit.
But now we
well,
have,
you just don't ever want to get to where your amendments are more than the original contract.
well, I mean, we had to amend those other ones because there wasn't enough money when the bids came in. So we'd have to go through that process again. I mean, I
Would
don't care,
almost
I'm
be-
for it. I
Yeah,
mean,
It's almost
I'm
a
for
scope
it too. I
amendment,
just-
is what it is.
I wasn't aware there was anything that big left over that wasn't contracted. I was not aware of that.
Well,
Cliff should be
just
here
Just
any minute.
Yeah, he told me he was running a bit late.
Just
Go by
Porter
his
Pond
stuff.
Road has something like 7,000 cubic yards, just one road of Porter Pond.
On that, Mr. Abbott, we were chose to pick out one PW for each district.
Okay,
on that.
okay.
Big one.
The big ones.
The biggest PWs in that district.
No, it's Deadening Road. It's got
Okay.
7,790 cubic yards of fill,
Yeah, I
of
mean, I
just
really use
dirt.
their dirt.
Could you get me a copy of that same information
Yes,
she's
sir.
got for?
There's
We
some
won't
in the
never
yard,
get
they
price
weren't ready when I left.
Yeah, just for my district is all I've.
Other
Well,
contractors,
it's all-
other contractors,
That's
there's no
fine.
way you can do it
Thank
for
you.
that, you know.
We'll just put it under Cliff when he gets it.
But
Cliff was supposed
Charles
to be here
Allen
at
is
10:30.
done, right?
He said he was gonna be about 10:30 or so getting here, so he'll be here any minute. But I have no
11:30?
problem with you
No,
working with my
pursuing
I mean, we
personally.
still have plenty of work for the county crews to
Oh, yeah.
do. But these were just some very
Maintenance
large.
is enough for a county crews to do.
just some
We
very
are
large.
getting short on the field.
Yeah.
We'll look primarily at our current contractor, and if we are capable of doing it there, we'll do it there. If not, we'll go through the process.
David, that's what we're,
Yeah.
Thank you.
all right. Mr. Jason, you're up next.
Good morning. Got a couple pieces of paper there, our current task order for the month of June. We emailed to you, no change in staffing, same 8 hours a day. Ask for that to be approved. The reports that I gave you, and I gave you a hard copy up there too, in addition to the email you received. It's 2 spreadsheets. One is for the funds that have been received by the counties last time we met. And the other represents the costs that are in queue, that have been approved, or some level of approval. Totals on those are paid is $317,847. Accepted by the comptroller, and in queue to pay is $63,500. And then in queue or someplace in process, $672,000. That's the financial side of the report. The other report you got from that study is the progress in terms of percentage of those complete. Again, based on what you guys approved last time, more work, it's accelerated, the work toward these projects is moving forward. And based on the conversation we just had, I would recommend any ability to accelerate the process is better. Quicker
Do you have
get
any
out of this.
concerns?
No, sir, not now. I'm feeling pretty good about the hiccups that we went through from the end of last year to this year. really, it was just like moving a mountain to get everything lined up.
You're providing us with information now too, though. It's great, I'm liking it.
Good. The last thing is a reminder, and this kind of dovetails what I just said, hurricane season starts June. So the worst scenario would be to lay some new disaster over an existing one.
Job security.
You don't see any issues with us contracting those 4 additional projects?
No, I mean, you already have done that, and like Commissioner Gothard said, those are turning around real quick. The contracts turn around real fast,
Yeah.
because they're not.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
You're not going through 2,000 line entries every
Right.
month. on
Your
before you
contractual
do it.
reimbursements come back quick.
Right, but had we had this conversation 3 months ago, because you weren't cash liquid, we would have been like, no, we can't do that because we can't afford it if we don't start getting some cash back in. So I think we're at a place now where it really makes a lot of sense for you guys to accelerate in whatever form we can. Any other
Stay
questions?
with the plan.
Yes, sir.
Give me just, hang on.
Y'all hold on.
Yeah.
Commissioner Kent's Facebook, and we gotta wait a minute.
Yeah, I got a Facebook here real quick.
Is there any concerns you got, Jason, about what we're doing right now?
No,
Things we need to do
I
differently?
mean, obviously, I work myself out of a job once the project's done. I'm also eager to get on the other side of the project and be able to, from a business standpoint, say, this was a successful project and it worked out well. Right. Because we're still on staff, under contract at least, that if you have another event, we would be here to support you in that too. So,
Just don't rush off and go to Corpus Christi and leave us,
I'm not-
just because money's better in Texas.
I'd rather stay right here.
This is home.
Where he can really help too, if a disaster was ahead, God forbid, all your time of you people riding and getting PWs, they take care of that, you know, and it'd be more helpful. It'd be on the front end like the back end. Might get a little bit more because of their knowledge.
And we're just lucky that your PWs for 4138 were written so poorly that
You have a
we were
question,
able to
Sean?
go back to cash.
I was just looking for $10,000. I'll have to, it's not until August I can fix it if I need to later.
I'll look through it, I apologize if there's something wrong, but I come back month to month anyway, so.
Just trying to have that proclamation.
Oh, okay. Here you go, Mr. John.
The task force for June is more, but
There's 3 days and $10,000 just seems a lot for me to have those 3 days difference in the month of July and August. I know it's close, but it's,
well, July also takes one day out, I guess, for,
it took, so it made 4 days and I came up with, anyway, I'll do the
Okay.
math later. I mean, it'll be all right.
let me know if there's any.
You know me and my looking and looking.
That's what I mean.
Hey, but you're doing much better. I do appreciate that.
Thank you,
Put it on the consent agenda.
Yes,
thank you.
thank you, Jason. Well, while we're waiting on Cliff, I'll,
He just texted me, says he's about 5 minutes out. He turned on South Boulevard.
okay.
He replied,
Whenever we had approved to contract the striping work out, of course, Happy Hill was less than $2,000. The bulk of it was the 2 roads that I had, and Johnny went to look for the money. The money, of course, weren't transferred. And, so I called Risha, and I'm just trying to get all this out in a meeting to where we figure out where the money's coming from and when it was approved. But I had Risha pull the minutes, and back in August of last year is whenever we were all talking about our different paving projects, I should say. And the one that I brought up, of course, was Shaky Joe Road, trying to do the remainder of it. And that's where the initial monies came from, was my allotment of monies to do that pavement, and that was approved at that time. And then Cliff and Dallas and I looked at it and realized because of the right-of-way constraints and the permit that would be required, it wasn't feasible. So that's when I elected to do some striping instead. But I basically just want to bring all that out to remind everybody that although we didn't designate a funding source at that time, it was discussed and it was approved. So
You want to take your paving money and put it in paint?
put it in paint. And I just did all that just refresh, and I'm
I
trying
just
to come
need
up,
to be where-
trying to come up with some filler right now till Cliff gets here.
Well, I got some if we need. I got
Public Works.
But I've got, hey, I can go on to another topic.
Public Works is next.
Let me just cover this while Johnny's coming up. Hoyt Street, there was discussion in the Community Traffic Safety Team meeting about doing Hoyt Street. It's pretty rough. It's right there in front of the VOTEC. I went and looked at it yesterday. I don't think there's base failure there. I think it's just the pavement's wearing out. There's, the school board, of course, would like for us to resurface it while we've got, the equipment right there. Actually, when they did that interchange with South Boulevard, they came up probably 100 yards from Hoyt Street anyways, overlaying it. And, got a quote. The cost would be $43,000 to do an overlay on Hoyt Street all the way to 90, which is good, mainly because they're out there. And talked with Dan Miner and Mike Park. Of course, it'd have to go before the city council, it'd have to go before the school board. But both of them seemed willing for us to go into some type of cost share program where they pay a third, we pay a third, city pays a third, whatever. So I'll just bring that up, we don't have to take action on it now, but the equipment's there. If we want to do that next Thursday, hopefully we'll have more in place by then, we'll know what the city's true commitments are, but just food for thought that the opportunity's there for us to go in thirds to resurface Hoyt Street. It's like a ½ inch of leveling course and I think an inch of asphalt. So it's about 1.5 inch overlay, which isn't bad. It won't last forever, but I think the actual base is good enough. It'll take it. So for about $13,000, we've got Hoyt Street
Paved.
paved.
I apologize for my misunderstanding. The city come to us and ask us, would we take it out of the city's hand and put it in the county's hand so we could apply for the grant.
Right.
I thought the grant, I knew that the grant was sidewalks, but I also thought it included repaving and had also repeated that.
Yeah,
And that's what I
I was
understood.
kind of the same way, Todd, and whenever I was called back, because I thought, don't we have this in a grant somewhere? But apparently we don't.
Well, and two, I don't think that they gave us the whole street.
Yeah.
They just gave us enough to do the sidewalk. So that's why they're still involved, because they still
I
have that
thought
section.
we had the whole
from
road.
They
I
have
thought we
the,
did too.
they have the section from the center of the road to the sidewalk, and then us, and then them again.
Oh, was that right? Well, however, either way, for $13,000, it's worth it.
It's a no-brainer.
And we talked about, of course, the ideal thing would be, it's perfect for a scrap project, but it's a small.
Yeah.
We don't want to waste a,
No, and we've already utilized them.
right, we don't want to waste a
We
scrap
don't want to
project
wait
on
3 years down the
Hold
road
on.
either. No.
trade the scrap shop for $13,000, that ain't.
No.
So, just, y'all be prepared next Thursday. I may bring something before us to approve $13,000 to
So you'll
pay
get that
Hoyt
up.
Street.
Perfect, yep, I agree.
Just put on consent.
I apologize, I thought we had that done, it was already part of the.
I did too. I got mixed up on that as well, Commissioner Abbott. I sure did.
In fact, I responded to an email, and said, yeah, it's fixing to be done, because I knew the equipment was out there.
Well, that's the biggest thing. You don't want that equipment to leave.
No, I don't.
$40,000, you'll spend $40,000 in mobilization to get them back.
I mean, I thought they was fixing to pave it, I thought we was a done deal. I really did. In fact, I told them, yeah, it's fixing to be done.
I'll call Dan and Mike after the meeting and let them know that the board's supportive of whatever they want to do out there. We're good for our third.
How long do we have until the equipment leaves?
That's the problem. Pretty quick. They're wrapping it up.
If you'll head that up, Mr. Chairman, I mean, I want to make sure whatever we have to do to get that paid before they leave, yeah.
And
We'd be
and
done
if-
for nothing.
If it comes before a vote, I've got it in my deal. I'll loan y'all the money until we can vote on it.
You've got that much money, huh? Cool.
I'm saving it, but I'll loan it.
Mr. Bush,
You want interest.
Mr. Bush, is a third 13,000?
Well, it's a third of
Oh, okay.
$43,068.82.
So 13 would be our,
whatever, you know.
okay.
It's not,
Yeah, we'd be crazy to let that get out.
go ahead, Brother Johnny.
about 3 weeks ago, I went and met with the forestry department, or forestry service, down on Environmental Road. They use that road off of 79. It's used a lot for the travel trailers and all coming into that park. And they said they would like to see about fixing it, and they were willing to fork over the money for the material if we would haul it and do the work, which I had that to bring up. Well, he emailed me yesterday, and they went and talked to their bosses, and their bosses are looking to entertain the fact of them taking over the whole road, which I think it's about a mile from 79 to Cruise Lake on that environmental, and it's all on their property that it just goes through the middle of. And I told them I would bring it up before y'all and see, but if they do it, their intention is to close it there at Cruise Lake and Environmental, not let it be a through road anymore. Cruise Lake comes off about a half a mile or less north of Environmental and goes all the way through there and meets up. So I mean, you're not, and there's no houses, well, there may be one house. There's no houses on Environmental, like I say, it's all state property. And then on Cruise Lake, there's one or two right there, but I mean, it's not affecting any of them. But
What's the pros and cons of that?
Environmental goes where, Strickland?
no, it goes from 79 to, and it runs into Cruise Lake, about a mile in. Other than somebody maybe having to go about a half a mile out of the way is the only problem.
Is there a lot of traffic on it?
There is a lot of cut-through traffic, and that was one thing that he brought up, that they come, of course, about like most all of them, they come flying through there, and it causes problems because they have trails that actually cross that road,
Well,
walking trails and horse trails and all.
When I wanted to talk about temporary closing the road, Commissioner Gothard mandated that we had a public hearing on it.
I didn't mandate anything.
Well, like I say, this is something he sent me yesterday, and I told him I'd bring it up before y'all. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff to go through to get one closed or turned back over, but like I say, the road, 100% of the road is on their land.
property. We just have right away.
Right. And it's in pretty good shape, other than from their entrance to their campgrounds back out to the highway, because you have a lot of water diversion on that one spot.
Was there any funds used to fix and?
There was some FEMA work done on
So
that this year.
so there's gonna be some legalities.
Yep.
Because it's a public road, you're going to have to go through the abandonment process, and it's gonna start with their office right there
Yeah.
to go through it.
Ms. Caitlin.
So you're
Miss
talking,
Kate.
they want to abandon it from where to where?
79 to
Well,
Every time to Cruise.
there won't, I don't really, wouldn't say it was an abandonment, it's wanting us just to turn it over to them.
That's an abandon, if we've got it right in that road,
Okay.
like you, that,
Got
the
it.
only
Still
way
same
to do
thing.
that statutorily is abandon. We're
Okay.
abandoning our rights, and there's a statutory process you gotta go through to do that.
Right, and they'll close it, the road off, cut the road off there where it turns into, or hits Cruise Lake.
And one of the critical things there is we have to make sure that we are not cutting off any third party's access. It doesn't mean you can't make it a little bit harder to get to their property as far as a different route, but you can't cut off access. Because then you're in a taking situation in the county. So you gotta be very careful with stuff like that.
It all looks like it stops within, inside the Pine Log State Forest. Right there.
And I think they said it was brought up one time before. This guy was talking
Close it
about,
off
I
there,
don't
and
remember.
you use.
So Jeff, the best thing for them to do is just to go to
there's-
Caitlin's office.
There's
and
an,
start
I
talking to
believe
her.
you've got an
I know it
application
ultimately went into
process through their
Strickland.
office that they need to go
You
through. if
just
that's
turn
what
it
they
over
wanna
to
do.
Cruise Lake,
Yeah.
falling into Strickland, maybe just do that,
Well,
It wouldn't be that.
to start with, they was wanting some improvements on it.
unless they stop.
And then they was second thinking about, well,
That's where they
maybe
want it.
rather than doing improvements and we're gonna pay to have it all done, why don't we just close it? Thinking a little bit further ahead.
Well, and I can kind of, like I say, I can see their points, because I know there's two trails, a horse trail and I think a walking trail that cross that road, and their theory is if they close off that end of it,
Be
they're not gonna
safer.
be worried about people getting run over
That's
or
right. Be
or a
safer.
horse, you know. But,
Sure.
I told them I'd bring it before y'all, so I did.
I'm not, I mean,
I think
I'm
it's
not
just too.
opposed to it, it's not a bad thing. I mean,
So
it's,
just tell them they need to get a hold of the planning board to start.
Let's
Yeah.
get in the process.
Okay.
And I don't want to close the door to them donating the funds to repair it also. So, I mean, I don't want to close that door neither. I mean,
Well, they
I'm
would,
sure one or the other that we could accommodate.
they
Sure.
would take over the maintenance on it, basically, because they're gonna keep it open, because that's the way to their campground.
But only up to that first right.
Well, I mean, they have access roads on up there, like, for their trucks and all, so I'm sure.
But if the county abandons it, they can literally close it where they
Wherever
would like
they
to
want.
close it. We have no, I mean, we're
We have no authority any longer.
walking.
Okay. All right, I'll get a hold of them and tell them to get up with Miss Caitlin. That was about all I had. I was gonna cover some on the FEMA, but, Miss Lynn kinda covered it. And I do have these printouts I'll get to each one of y'all. Miss Debbie graciously fixed me up one where I could understand it. And, talking about how much we have, this has got that we have, a little less than 2,500 loads of dirt to haul and about a little over 4,600 loads of rock to finish this up, which is quite a bit. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if our pits will take that.
Now, what did we decide last month on, who was,
Looking, I made some reach out to a couple of places and I've come up negative.
was Cliff helping with that also?
No, I don't believe he's checked. Have you, Cliff?
We need to appoint somebody, Mr. Chairman.
What am I helping with, David?
Looking for a pit.
Looking for a pit?
Yeah.
The only one that I know has good soils is the one that's just to the west of Mud Hill.
That's a lot of money.
Well,
How much, David? Have you got a good price on it?
No.
They wanted 300,000 about 4 years ago.
And you won't buy it for that now.
but I sit in here last month and mentioned 2 dirt pits that was already permitted. That, I mean, has anybody made contact with them?
Cliff, I haven't called them. I went to the 2 that I knew about. One was the school board and they check in, but they don't think so. They want to keep it for school access. And the other one was one that Mr. Brock talked about. And I have been unable to get the guy to call me back. He lives in another state now.
Do we have any property that the county owns that, we've got all that property there, close to that lake there with the rodeo arena down there? I mean, is that property suitable for, I mean, I think
Well,
we
we'd
need to
have
look
to
at
do
the
some
property
testing.
we already own and see if it's, and we've owned some pretty good blocks of property. I mean, have we evaluated? Can I make a suggestion?
yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if you would appoint a committee or a person or to get on that, we won't be he said, she said, you just appoint a person to be responsible of that. And that's within your
This is where nobody wants to
rights.
make eye contact with you. When you look across the audience, everybody looks down.
That's within your rights.
We're gonna have a new county manager in a few weeks. Why don't we
Yeah,
let
let's,
him do some?
put that on your desk, on your to-do list and leave it for the new man, David.
Well, too, y'all bear in mind.
But that's a very good point. All you gotta do is look at what property do we got. We're liable to have a perfect pit out there. We don't, we got so many parcels, we got over 300 parcels.
That's very true, but keep in mind, when you pick out a piece of property and you think it's good, that man's gotta send a team out there and see how far down to the clay, how much clay, that's where you make the determination.
Yeah.
And that's money,
It's got to be bored.
yeah, and that's money. So, you wanna think that you've got a pretty good place before you go to it, but what we found is, we know there's good dirt there, but I just hate giving $400,000 for a piece of property.
Just put that on Hank's to-do list. We wanna have him a bunch of work when he gets here. He seems very energetic.
That's what I'm doing with whoever takes over Dallas. I'm staffing up, higher and higher over there on that side. That was all.
Did you get my message this morning about Miss Anna Harkis? and that
Yes,
road?
but you didn't leave a road name, an address, or
I
nothing.
thought I did. I'm
No,
sorry.
we listened to it twice.
Why, John, you standing up there, Mr. Chairman?
What is it off Harkis Road? Is it Island Hill
Oh, Lord, I don't know.
Road? Island Hill?
That's out of your familiar
I
territory.
think it's Island or something like that. I think there's one over there.
Yeah. What it was, they were just trying to, Miss Dot Sutherland called me, and I apologize for that. I had so many things going on right there. think I was on the phone with Lynn Abel when I was writing all that down about Miss Dot Southern and what she had left me, but Miss Anna Harkis passed away, and Miss Dot Southern called and just wanted to make sure we kind of got the road shaped up.
What was
The
her name?
family wanted to go.
Her name I can pull it up and know the address.
Anna Harkis,
Anna Harkis.
and I believe it was Island Hill, I think is the name of the road.
Okay.
Our beaver problem has got
Oh, yes,
worse.
thank you, David.
Bring that up.
David might know,
Who's that now?
I don't know if it's kin to Robert Harkis or, I don't know. Anyways, just see about those roads
Oh.
over in that area.
Thank you, David. I forgot all about that. I was gonna bring it up, I'll buy a 6-pack of beer for whoever wants to sit out there on the beaver hill and kill the beavers. Or they're causing us some misery.
Can't
I
you
don't-
shoot them? Or is it protected, or are they
They're not
protected?
protected.
Ma'am,
They are not protected.
so we can shoot them?
I don't know about that.
We need them, we need them to go away.
We
What
need
are
to
you gonna do if
disappear.
you trap them and you put them?
Did y'all ever get that Wausau taken care of? The beaver dam?
Nope. And they've got them a nice little hut bit out there side of the road now. Just
We
showing
actually had a
off.
contract at DOT for beavers.
We might
Sure did.
hire one of those retired good hunters.
We did.
Yeah, we used to have Mr. Charles Miles. He was
Mr. Rudd needs a
fishing,
job,
but
we could hire him a retired coon man, go over and shoot some,
Mr. Jimmy, I'll buy the shield.
I don't know if you could.
Well, I'm not gonna buy you a 6-pack of beer. No. No, but I don't even know where to look at. I mean, contacted Wild Fishing Game, and they have nobody. I do know of Tate Morrell down in the Ebro area. He's a nuisance trapper, but I don't know if he does beavers.
He
All I
does
see is
gators,
hogs.
doesn't he?
Huh?
Doesn't he do gators?
Yeah, hogs and gators is his big deal. I don't know if he'd be any interested.
If you could get some more people trained on the proper way to set them snares, they do work. John's problem is he's by himself and he don't have time to do it all in summertime snakes.
Yep.
So if you don't believe that Mr. Ken ain't got some moccasins on Odom Road, I looked at 2 eyeball to eyeball the other day and I said, I'm too close to retirement to get bit in the face.
Well, and I had one of our guys over there, and he actually got down there and got out of Owl's
What
Way.
happened to me?
He don't want to go back over, and I don't blame him. But we, and it's in every district. Everybody's got them.
Every time you go clean the pipe out tomorrow
The
morning,
next day,
it stopped up.
it stopped back up. You know, that would solve
I
it.
mean, can we not visualize on them? I mean, is that something that we have, I mean, I don't know of.
Like I say, I know years ago they had, well, even though,
Out of bounty.
If we,
yeah,
how about if we just make some kind of an advertisement and, our districts are having problems
So they're about to fall off the
with,
bench.
with nuisance
beavers.
Beavers.
What they're called.
please call Road and Bridge Department. You know, if you need a task or we need some help or, you know, is the state offer any suggestions? It can't be just Washington County.
No, it's not.
No, we've had discussion about Beaver in Holmes County as
I mean,
well.
what
Some
is
of the best
Jackson
ones.
County doing? What is
Yeah.
Leon County doing? I mean,
I'll try to get a hold of Mr.
Nobody's doing nothing but cleaning that pipe.
I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I mean,
And you will wind up tearing the pipe up eventually, because you have to ram something in.
Talking about beavers, you missed it.
Well, we'd rather shoot them
I'm tired.
Oh, yeah.
if it's legal.
I'd rather eliminate them than have to deal with big enough.
Well, when we had the beaver tail program, you brought a tail in and the county
Hey, there you
manager
go.
would pay $10.
That's
There
what
you go.
Holmes County, that's the Holmes
I
County.
like it.
Let me tell you the deal though, you wind up with buying beaver tails from Walton County.
That was the debate. We spent an hour on what beaver tail is it. I've been there, yeah.
Can you tell what county?
No, well, we tried. It's hard to tell.
Pull a DNA on it or something.
I already bought a pipe because of them.
Only
beavers.
thing you can do is there's different end treatments on the pipe that you can do to keep
We've
beavers
tried
out.
that.
Some
Hey,
of
we-
them, some
we
of them
built-
are successful, some of
We've
them aren't.
engineered all kind of different
It's
looking
been,
cages.
it's
Some
been an
of them-
ongoing battle forever. I mean,
Just go to Odom Road.
Yeah, bad thing is some of them cages
dug it,
disappear on you.
did-
But if y'all hear of anybody or can come up with a plan, I'd appreciate it.
I mean,
Can we advertise for a
I'm
beaver
telling
trail?
y'all,
I'm
the
just- I'm not-
snares really work. If John had time to train some road and bridge people, That could be another thing for Hank to
Hey,
do.
don't be taking them off the trucks now.
Well, Johnny had a nighttime, idea for
But they
some of the
spend more
staff.
time
Yeah,
now. They spend
I got
3
plenty of them out there
hours
for
down.
12 pack of beer and a box of shells. They'd sit out there all night and watch one. You know,
I'd rather give them
I don't know what the
$10.
le-
I'd rather give them $10 for the
I don't know
tail.
what the legal issues would be on that, but,
Providing them beer? Y'all see a
well,
problem?
providing somebody beer and ammo, they go hate one.
Hey, the legislature can rule it.
But that's
They don't
just,
ever seem to worry
There
about
ain't
it.
too many nuisance people to handle beavers. They
I
don't.
don't think that's the problem I'm looking at. And I guess I look at it as a point, you know, the farmers are getting quarterbacked up on them, well, why don't they get out there and do something, and it, you know, goes, but that's,
Because out in Wausau is Reedy Creek, isn't it? And then what they've got big,
Yep.
dammed up to Reedy
Yep.
Creek.
yep, and we had to go get a backhoe out here not too long ago.
That's it, yeah.
Got.
Would you find out what they do in the other counties, and then maybe we can do a program share with Holmes in Washington County, or, you know, Jackson County, Washington, whoever, Bay County. I mean, what are the other people doing? Maybe we can
Okay.
not reinvent the wheel and just find out a little information what they're
I'll
doing.
call around and.
Specifically
Sure,
Jackson
Charles
County?
died, he called over
Yeah.
100 beavers.
Cause, that house on Odom Road, the beavers live in Jackson
Mr. Miles, he
County.
loves it now.
They clog up.
He would talk to you about beavers too.
Well, there was, I think we caught 3 right there on Odom Road, and they're still there.
John did.
Yep, so, but that's all I had.
I want some clarification on something.
About
Commissioner
beavers?
Goddard talked about not visitors.
Beer?
Yes,
Ammo.
yes, it's the beer and the guns that I like. No, Commissioner Goddard talked about contracting out some of the jobs. I want to know, Johnny, are you still going to need the 2 temporary truck drivers? Because we're ready to set up interviews
Okay,
if that happens.
I guess it's to see if we contract, because I would hate to do it and then them not get to work for maybe 6 months or so.
But we still have a bunch of little small things
Right,
that
but
needs to be
that
done.
was another thing.
So I think y'all need to go.
Okay.
I would proceed personally, just because I know when they were working on our road, they were waiting on trucks all the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I
We're
mean,
not
that's-
staffed to rebuild these roads. We're staffed for road maintenance.
Okay, we'll go ahead with it then. I just want to make sure.
And that was another thing too, we may be looking at wanting to start back up the overtime.
Did you ever get a grader to replace the one that burnt?
It should be here at the end of this month.
You decided with a brand new one?
Yes, sir.
Did you decide with, what brand? Just
John
curious.
Deere.
Okay.
Backhoes is in, Johnny's done played on it.
Yeah, I'm having
We're running the mowers and the mow trims wide open.
Everything's going.
Cool.
Everything's going.
We're interviewing for the Public Works Supervisor, Dallas's position,
Cool.
Thursday.
Cool. And you had a bunch of in-house applicants?
We did have several in-house applicants.
That's gonna get preference?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Is that it?
I think that's it. No mind, Tracy, but I'll go sit down. Y'all need to follow.
I can remember when Johnny got the backhoes, because I called him about a roadway issue, and he said, I ain't got time to fool you right now. We're
I was
playing
on
with the
one
new
play, I didn't
backhoe.
try it out.
Sure did.
Thank y'all.
That ain't a lie either.
No, what?
Man, being honest, what more
Yeah.
can you ask for that?
Hey, he was excited.
Gotta keep your skills up.
You never know, do you?
What do you do on the weekends?
Clean the dirt.
Cliff, we sure missed you this morning. I've run out of topics. I started telling jokes almost.
I told you where you was, dude.
Cliff, what do they do over in the county that you live in when somebody's confused about what bathroom to use?
Don't answer that.
They get drug
Just
off.
kidding.
They get drug off out back somewhere.
That's the way we used to do it.
Oh, let's see, I've got,
I wasn't picking on Cliff really about being late, because I knew he was gonna be
yeah,
late. He told
well,
me yesterday. he
we
was gonna be
practiced,
late.
Peter Pan line for 2 weeks, and it turns out we should have practiced for a month.
He had a very important,
Did you have fun?
he had a very important thing this morning. He had to watch his youngin' in his flight.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets.
That's as good as it gets.
That's why we work.
I'll say that about Mr. Hamilton. I was present when he spoke with the staff, and he laid out his expectations for the county employees. And that was one of the things that he said up front, was that he stressed the importance of
Thank you.
spending time with your family, to all the staff, and make sure that you, whatever you do at work, you make sure you got time to spend with your family. I thought that was very good. That's an old Jeb Bush line. That's what Jeb Bush was. the other thing he stressed was no gossip. He did not want to go through an office and hear anybody gossiping.
So you can't come to a board meeting, I think.
Spend time with your family, but don't sit around and gossip about nobody.
Maybe you can stop that.
Maybe you can stop.
I made him sign the paper and steal it and stuff. Oh, it's coming in. Nice look.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Cliff.
See, I've got about 4 different things to go over with you guys. None of them bad. I think all of them are good.
Did each of them have a sheet of paper or?
Not each one.
Okay, so I'm not one short then.
No. I wanted to start off talking about Greenhead Road for a minute. And, we had plenty of phone calls and emails and text messages and all sorts of fun stuff. But I got with George Roberts, our contractor, and they went out there and worked Sunday trying to get everything dressed up for everybody. And what we've got is about, the first 3 miles is pretty well done and mixed. We've got about 13 spots in that first 3 miles that we really could use a significant amount of sand clay, like a foot or more, in some areas where there's no existing base. And so what I wanted to do is see if the board would be agreeable to having, for example, the county guys, Johnny and his guys, haul us about 30 loads of sand clay. The contractor would spread it and mix it, but it's in areas that we need significant base that currently there's nothing but sand there. And so our contractor hauled 3 inches of dirt, 2 inches of rock, and mixed them in. Now that it's mixed in, we've got some areas that need a significant amount of sand clay dumped. And so we need about 30 loads up to the entrance to Fox Lake or Fox Pond or whatever it is up
Why
there.
is this just coming up?
What do you mean?
I mean, this is a FEMA project. It was supposed to get the road back into condition. Mixing wasn't included. We just approved mixing, additional funds for this.
Yep.
And now we're coming up wanting more dirt.
Hold on. You got, the board awarded to the contractor exactly what was on the PW, 3 inches of dirt.
Was that not good, the PW? That's my point.
No.
It's not gonna fix the road,
Not
no.
gonna
The
fix
road
it.
doesn't have base on it in these areas.
We don't
They
have a
existing
payout of a
base.
Cliff for the contractor to where we get the contractor to haul the dirt?
I could, but we would be exceeding what's in the PW that's been approved and exceeding his contract. And so I would be coming to you guys and saying, hey, we need a change order for this additional work. And so all he's asking for is if the county would haul those loads to those spots, he'll spread it, he'll mix it, he'll pack it at no cost to the county.
I mean, that's a good deal, but my whole thing is, it's kind of like Commissioner Kent, if we can get dirt from somewhere other than us, that's ideal,
Oh, and
because
he's
we're
got
just
dirt.
running
Look,
out.
he's got dirt, and he would be happy to do it. I was trying to do it so that I didn't have to come back before the board with a change order.
How much are 30 loads gonna cost us?
I'm sure he would give us a per yard price.
Well, that would be ideal, because then we wouldn't impact our roadway operations.
Yep.
And we wouldn't have to utilize our dirt,
Yeah.
and it would just be a change order, as long as that's all covered under, we can,
Can we go back and add that to?
yeah, we can change the
Absolutely.
PW.
That's no problem.
Okay.
We can change the PW. I think that would be better. Just do a change order on the project, and we won't impact our crews, and we'll get the dirt from them.
Yeah, our mission on that,
And FEMA will pay for it in the end.
Right. They should. You gotta send that up to them, but still, it'll be a fairly minimal cost, because you're only looking at 30 loads of dirt,
Like $3,000.
something like that.
yeah, probably $3-4 grand at the most. And so, what we're doing right now is exactly what's on the PW.
Right.
Exactly what's on the PW is what we're doing, and we're monitoring every load, every spoonful of dirt that comes out to that road, we have got tracked.
But it's all
So-
contracted, so the reimbursement process would be a lot simpler than
Yep.
doing it with in-house labor, so, or force count labor. So basically, all we're doing is
Right.
amending it. So, I mean, it may delay it a little bit, but that's the way I do it, Cliff.
Okay,
And if we have to eat that $3,000-4,000, that's fine.
okay.
I rode that road and it's like driving through snow.
Oh, yeah.
When you get to those points, you know where they're at.
Oh, yeah, it's been that way forever.
Yeah, it was just, there was a thin shell of clay that was on those roads.
Slow their ass down.
It's a thin shell of clay that was on the roads, and so we want to fix it, we want it to be right, but we also want to do exactly what we told FEMA we're going to do. And so, just trying to keep us headed the right direction. But we've got great inspection reports. We've got every single truck that's been brought out there recorded, and so should not, when we do go to close it out, this one should be super easy to close out with our FEMA friends.
He's hauling about 20 loads a day, isn't he? Like 20
Uh,
or, yeah, I think about 20 trucks he told me.
Yeah, yeah, he
Maybe
had,
more than 20 loads.
yeah, he had 20 trucks running that were making 6, 7 rounds a day. I
Yeah.
mean, we hauled a unbelievable amount of fill and rock to that road in the last 2 weeks. So you get 20 trucks running, making 5, 6 rounds a day.
Yeah.
Everybody's not happy.
No.
Well, I mean, we've had a few complaints about the dust. I had a man call me about the dust that was upset about the dust. But, you know, we haven't had any rain. We have had a water truck out there trying to keep it wet down as much as we can, but with no rain for 3 weeks, it's kind of tough.
It's a damning situation. I mean, it's.
Yep. But we're gonna make it through. Contractor's gonna be done way faster than what I anticipated. Didn't really expect him to put 20 trucks on the job, but look, you know, faster he gets it done, maybe, you know, the better off it'll be instead of.
And my
dragging it
thought
out.
process is, if we're gonna pull any money out of our pocket, it don't need to be for more crap and dirt. It needs to be milled asphalt, something ain't gotta be touched, is my thought process. I'm tired of buying dirt. I'm tired of doing the same thing that this county has done for 50 years and getting the same results, and keep doing it. We're done for keep doing it.
Yeah.
We've got to do something better and do something different. The dirt is, Cliff, I mean, you know better than anybody. It's going in the creeks and the swamps and the ditches. Dig it back out. Let's do it again. It was so smart.
Yeah, Greenhead Road is a perfect example. Greenhead Road is actually almost identical to Rolling Pine. And on Rolling Pine, you have the roadbed, which is essentially a canal, and you have a hump on each side of the roadway that goes up 3-4 feet, which is basically spoils from grading year after year after year. And so on Rolling Pines, when we got ready to pave Rolling Pines, what we did was we got a couple off-road trucks and a couple excavators, and that mound that was on the side of the road 3-4 feet high, we turned that into a ditch. And so as soon as we turned that into a ditch, all the drainage problems just disappeared. And so
And honestly, that's what we need to do there. On
It
Porter
is.
Pond, some of them are as high as the truck.
it is exactly what needs to be
Everywhere.
done. But you're talking about moving 25, 30,000 yards of material.
I mean, we've got over on
Tremendous cost.
Foxworth Road, we've got people's personal fences that we've just about buried. I mean, I'm talking about
Yeah,
fences.
yeah.
It's just buried with stuff that we.
Right. Well, Rolling Pines, we moved 30,000 yards of dirt on Rolling Pines. We had a doctor that lived very close that wanted all the dirt we could dump, and that was when Trampus was working with you guys, and we ran off-road trucks and dumped it, and actually got it done pretty quick, considering, but once those humps were turned into ditches, the drainage problems all disappeared.
Sure.
And so, a lot of the drainage issues that we have on Greenhead are because the water has nowhere to go.
You've got to have a
So-
filtering system or a ditch, one of the two, to get
Right.
rid of it.
And you know, in my opinion, trying to fix a road, you should always start with the drainage first.
Thank you.
Worry about the base and all that other stuff later, but you gotta fix the drainage first. If you just spend all your time concentrating on the base and don't address the drainage, you really haven't fixed the road.
You ain't done nothing.
Right, so anyways, unfortunately FEMA didn't give us excavation of 30,000 yards, or we would be able to do something to try to fix the road. So,
My thought process, if y'all gonna haul anything in there, or buying anything, we need to be buying mill. You can buy it just as cheap as you can be buying dirt. Is that right, Cliff?
a little more expensive, you know, $10 a yard versus probably 5, so. Okay, so, the next thing I want to talk about is our Washington County landfill services, Chipley and Mud Hill. You guys might remember that, on, the Chipley landfill, we got the okay from DEP to close out monitoring on the Chipley landfill. And they gave us a list of items that they wanted us to complete in order to close out the monitoring on Chipley landfill. And some of the things that they asked for were a set of restrictive covenants to be put, recorded for the property, so that in the event that the property was ever sold or deeded to somebody else or traded hands or whatever, the restricted covenant would go with the land that would mean that nobody could ever install additional wells on the property. Or use that property for supplying water or any of those types of things. And so I've sent some information to Jeff on doing the restrictive covenants and what all it requires. We have got quotes from contractors to abandon all the wells, which is basically to pump them all with concrete. And then the DEP also requires a survey, a topographic survey of all the stormwater ponds that are on the site as part of their closeout. So there's kind of a process. You get the survey done, you get the wells closed out, you get the restrictive covenants done. You advertise, we have to advertise in the local paper, the restricted covenants. That all goes to DEP. Once DEP approves it all, they send some more paperwork back for the county administrator and the board to approve. Once you guys get done with that, you're done, and there's no more monitoring at the Chipley landfill. It'll save you guys about between $20,000 and $25,000 a year from now to the end of time.
And that's awesome. I just have, and forgive me, I'm just a dumb country bumpkin. We have monitoring wells right now, and they're adequate. It's got good water, it meets the standards.
Got good water and meets the standards. Well, we've been
The
using
test
them.
wells.
Yeah, the test wells, we've been using the test wells for doing the monitoring. So that's what we've been doing for 25 years.
That's correct. And the water's good.
The water
is not contaminated.
No, it's not contaminated. No, we had some iron issues for a long time. The water is not contaminated, and the DEP
Iron issues is corrected.
The DEP has agreed to end monitoring for the county.
Okay. And here's my point. The water's good, and they're wanting us to say that we'll never allow another well being on there, but the water's good. Do you understand my concern? It's got good water, but now we can't dig any more wells on it and can't provide any water for anything off of it. That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Well, here's what you got to kind of think about is those wells are all like straws that go down into the intermediate aquifer.
I understand.
And so what they want is to know that there's no way that anything will ever be introduced into that intermediate aquifer. And the best way to do that is to completely fill those wells up with concrete so that there's no connection.
Okay.
And
They
so that's,
never approved another well to go on that land.
yeah, they won't, yeah, that's right. And so the document that Jeff would prepare would be a document that says, hey, we're never going to drill another well.
I understand all that. I understand what you're saying. I understand what they're dictating to us, but I don't understand why. Because the water is of a good quality now. And they're saying that for here on out, for the end of the world, nobody can dig any water there. That's what I have a problem with. Why are they saying that if we've got good water? Is that just part of?
It's part of their landfill closure process. They do it on every landfill that has ever been permitted through DEP. So if you're going to end monitoring, you're going to close all your wells out, you're going to abandon all your wells, they're going to be all sealed, and you will not install new wells for any purpose in the future. That's just part of what they do.
Am I saying that right? Do you understand my question?
Yeah,
We just don't have a choice.
Yeah,
No, it's a choice.
somebody with a PhD at some level in Tallahassee or Washington DC has decided for everybody into perpetuity that if you do X, Y, and Z on this property, as part of conjunction with closeout, you can't build any more wells there. And that's not a cliff decision, that's somebody
Well,
that
and I know that.
considers
I
themselves
know that
not
it's not a cliff, but he talks to them people all the time.
Yeah, I've never seen one closed cliff. Have you without a restricted covenant like that, a landfill?
Well, there's not many closed out
Yeah.
in this area. I mean, there really have.
What we do.
Yeah, it's a big deal. We did one
It
in
is a big deal.
Calhoun County about maybe 8 years ago.
And to be able to close one this early and quit monitoring is pretty rare.
It is.
It is.
But I don't like that restriction put on that block of property saying that we cannot ever dig a well over it.
Right.
But I mean, I could go along with getting it closed out and then readdressing that at a later date. I mean, I could.
But part of what they're going to want is they're going to want the board to vote and approve to place restrictive covenants on the land. That's part of what they've requested to close out the project, to close out the landfill.
So we just need to put that as part of our agenda.
That would be part of the package, yeah, I would
Do we
bring that
need to
as
do
part
it
of this package.
at the board meeting Thursday?
Probably it'll be in June.
I mean, we can do it anytime.
I would
Whenever you and Cliff,
Are you gonna be done in June, Cliff? Are you gonna need more time than that?
Done in June with what?
When do you need my restricted covenant by?
If I had them sometime in June, that'd be great. The month, if we had them in the month of June, that would be fine.
so we can vote, we can do it this month.
You don't need
We
to
can
do
do it
anything.
next Thursday.
Yeah, I'll just give it to Cliff and we'll make it a part of the June
But
meeting.
didn't you say we need to pass that? The board needs to pass?
The board will need to pass approve recording restrictive covenants on the land.
Yeah.
That's what we will need at some point. I don't need it to, next Thursday at all.
Okay.
The reason I'm presenting this proposal to you is because we do need to try to get moving on closing the wells and get moving in that direction to try to save you guys.
But what I'm saying is, if it's something we can do next Thursday, we can do it, and
Sure.
that approval will be done, and then you can do whatever the paperwork is to follow.
Okay. However you wanna do it. I think what Cliff was just looking for was, hey, this is what the cost is gonna be in the process. Get the thumbs up and go forward with it.
Did you get an email requesting them stipulations?
Yes, sir.
Could you forward that to me,
Yep,
please?
I sure can.
And-
Yeah, it came from Alex Webster.
Okay, and I just want to, I want to, just for myself, to get educated, find out why that's part of the,
Yeah.
you know, I just like his contact information along with that email where I can make that phone call.
Yep, I'll send it to David. He sent me an email that outlined exactly what we got to do to get to the goal line.
I'm asking you to send it to me. I just want to make sure that I get it.
Okay?
Okay. I don't want to say it's in the mail. I want that email where I
Yeah.
can make this phone call before I approve this.
Yeah, no problem. I will get whatever your own email address is, and I will send
I
it
have
straight
the
to
county,
you.
I have the county
Okay.
email.
Okay. We'll do it. The other stuff that was on this proposal is for the Mud Hill landfill. It's for the semi-annual water quality reports and also for the remediation system monitoring. In the past, we have subcontracted with Trinity for doing our water quality reporting and so forth. We're doing all of that in-house now. We don't have a subcontractor, we do that ourselves. And so we have personnel to do that, and so there's no subcontract to it.
Now, that's on what now?
Mud Hill landfill, Mud Hill landfill, yep.
Trinity used to do it, they done all of our testing and monitoring, and Cliff does it in-house now. So it should be cheaper.
Yep, it is cheaper.
Have we, there's some other water sources that we have to test on a monthly and quarterly.
You might can, I hadn't got with him on that.
Mr.
You do-
Register does it now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's expensive. And, I mean, it's really expensive. I mean, we cut it down since I've been in office, like
Parts,
two-thirds.
you talking about parts,
of
stuff
the
like
Yeah,
that.
expense.
so
Annual
quality samples.
nitrate and
It's it runs $1,030 a month for the size that we
Yeah.
tested.
And when I come in
Basically,
office,
it's just your water testing and all your parts and things like that.
is that something that,
That we could do,
I'll get you what they test if you want me to, Cliff, and then you can compare prices.
yeah, we would have to drive around each park and sample them just like he's doing. So, I mean, it'd be the same. I don't know that I could save you a bunch of money doing that, but certainly we could, if you wanted to look at us giving you a price to do it, we'd be happy to do it.
Jackson will give you that
Yeah, I'll
information.
get you what exactly he tests, and then you can, say that's something you can do.
Okay.
it's just state mandates, it's making us, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If everybody is agreeable, we'll put Cliff's proposal on the consent agenda then. Everybody agree with that?
Well, hold on, I got a question. Have you started on Buddy Road with that?
Yeah, we've already submitted for dredge and fill permits on Buddy Road.
I mean, I just saw Deltona and Ledger on here, but no Buddy. Am I comparing?
He's talking about on the letter where we're transferring the various projects from
Yeah,
Treble Rish over to
Gotcha.
Dewberry.
gotcha.
So, I mean, is that one on?
It's already been submitted to DEP, but that would be one of the projects.
You had already swapped every by the time you did it?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be transferred?
That's right.
Thank you.
you very big.
I got it now.
So that was the last thing that I passed. Well, let me do Lucas Lake first, if that's okay. On Lucas Lake Road, we had several driveways that we had to add to the project. Two of them were existing trailers that were off in the woods that we did not know existed until the people showed up when we were under construction. They are places that they don't go every day, but they did have trailers back off in the woods, and so we felt like we needed to add driveways for them. What we did on this change order, it's a $0 change order, but what we did on it is took the signage out of the contract. It was about $11,000, $10,800 worth of signs we took out of the contract. We added the additional pipe, and we've added a good bit of sod, about 2,400 square yards of sod, which we really need on the job. And so it's a $0 change order, but it would leave the new signs as the county's responsibility. We probably had more signs in their contract than what we need, and so we could probably cut back on the number of signs also. And so that's something that the board would need to vote on, and it would need to go to DOT for approval also.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm well satisfied with that. And I can remember the issues with the trailer. People trying to get to the trailers. No problem.
All right, and then the last thing that I passed out to you
got
guys.
that one, David, excuse me. You got that? Approving the change order, Luke's
Yeah.
place? So that, basically, we're just, the contract price is $1,360,000. With the change order, it's gonna be $1,360,000. We're just showing the quantity difference to DOT to get their
It's
approval.
not changing.
Yeah, and really the only big difference for the county will be your sign guys will have to put up our speed limit signs. I think the stop sign's already good, but I think that you will have to, we'll have to put up some 35-mile-an-hour speed limit signs.
Cliff, are they on rain days now, or what? Because this says all work complete by April 7th.
Yeah, and this actually should have been updated to reflect a couple different things. It should have been updated to reflect the rain days, and it should also be updated to reflect our AT&T situation that we're kind of facing out there right now.
Still ain't good news.
Yeah, I got 6 poles that are actually in the road where we're gonna pave, and they've told us last Wednesday or Thursday it would be 6 weeks before they can get there. And we have raised as much cane with them as we probably
They
can.
still have lines hooked to it too?
Yes, sir. It goes across the street to the residences, or we take the poles down ourselves.
How long do we have through DOT to get this money?
Well, we requested an extension. Karen's not here, but we requested an extension through the end of June.
Yeah, I signed that document.
Cliff, we do have the job in-house for AT&T right now, we just and we will move forward with what we can.
Yeah, anything you can do to help would be great.
Well, it's in-house, and we received the prints last Thursday.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. So, same scenario on our Roach Road. We have requested the same extension on Roach Road. And so we're expecting both jobs to be done by the end of June. And it looks right now like they will be, as long as we get the pole situation under control. I still got a few on Roach that we're working with them on, but I think we got them under control right now.
Roach Road's gonna be a good project. I rode that the other day, and it's gonna look good.
Yep, it's been challenging. One of the areas that I really wish we could have got the right of way is directly across the street from Mr. Hobbs' property at the bottom of the hill. It's Mr. Green something is his last name. We tried and tried and tried. Dallas and I both went to visit with him and see what we could do. And so we had to make some changes down there to make it work, but I think we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be a good road when we get done for sure. And that's also a good example for you guys to look at for the difference between a 60-foot right-of-way and an 80-foot right-of-way. It's amazing how much more shoulder you end up with on a roadway with an 80-foot right-of-way, and you also handle a lot more runoff than you can possibly handle with a 60-foot right-of-way. And so I don't believe I could have ever made that roadway design work with 60 feet. And so it's a good example for you to look at for future roads. 80 foot is the ticket. It really is a much safer, better drainage, better everything. So, and the last document that I gave to you guys is basically a letter asking to assign the Preble Rish contracts to Dewberry Preble Rish. As many of you guys know, my partner and I decided to sell our company April 4th to a company called Dewberry Engineers, much larger company. One of their big selling points for us was that our company will essentially remain intact with all our project managers continuing to be the project managers. All of our people will still continue to do the same thing they do now. We don't really have a bunch of corporate people moving in to take over our operation or how we do business. And so April 4th, we agreed to the sale. And so that document that I sent to you or gave to you is a request to transfer the contracts that we have underway with you now to the new corporation name. So we're looking at it like a good thing for us and really a good thing for you guys too. They will be able to do a lot of things for you guys that we haven't been able to do in the past. And so if we need to rely on outside expertise for anything, we've got people that can do just about anything now. So
Congratulations to you.
yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's been great for me and my family, and I plan on staying on for at least another 4 years, hopefully 20 years, but I plan on staying on at least for another 4 years. And so appreciate everything that Washington County has done for me and my family as well.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Unless you guys got any more questions.
The only thing I had, Cliff, I was gonna give you this. This is the
Hoyt Street.
estimate on Hoyt Street. When you get a chance, if you leave here, run down Hoyt Street and look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's basically a 2-inch overlay, which is pretty significant. The road is rough,
Okay.
but I think that would do.
All right, I saw where they've already moved the end over when I was talking to you the other day. They had to move over one travel lane to line up with the new intersection. So that part's already done, I saw.
And like we talked about yesterday, when I was out there, they've done about 100 yards of Hoyt Street,
Right.
just improving the interchange, so.
Okay, well, I'll
Just
take this, I'll check.
take a look at it. I
check
don't
out.
know if you think we need to go out in court, we can court, but,
Okay.
whatever we find, we're probably gonna go with that anyway, so.
Yep, I understand.
Mr. Chairman, did we just finish discussing the 4 FEMA projects and the deal with Cliff? Because we kind of stopped talking about it. Did we ever finish it?
Yeah, I think we did. The 4 projects,
Of 4 PWs.
the 4 PWs that,
He was just, yeah, that you want to contract out?
right,
Okay.
and everybody was in agreement with
He
that.
wasn't in here, but.
Okay.
He wasn't in here. I was just making sure we were
Yeah,
done.
okay.
Talking about seeing if Robert, if we could add it on to the Roberts and Roberts contract.
As a change order to their contract?
Right.
Okay. I can certainly get with Roberts and Roberts and get them to put, pricing together for it all and bring it back to you guys for approval.
Okay. You think you can do that by Thursday?
I probably can.
Well, we got all the quantities and everything,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
just,
show you after the-
if he's willing to do that for us.
Yeah, I'm sure that he would be happy to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that'd be good. If you can bring it back by Thursday, we'll take care of it then.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cliff.
Mr. Bush, the contract, the Dewberry, is that consent agenda?
As far as, you,
That-
contract.
the- Yeah, change the projects over to Dewberry.
It's an
Yeah.
assignment.
yeah,
Okay,
I'll look at it, but if you put it on the consent, if I've got any issues with it, we can pull it. whatever you want.
okay,
That's normal
put that on the
practice.
consent. I put all these off to the side that need approval, so, yeah.
okay.
That's normal practice.
You got that, David? Basically, it's just reassignment. What else?
County coordinator.
County coordinator.
Just got a resolution I need y'all to consider, from a multi-use path to a sidewalk project. They discovered a right-of-way issue, and I don't see no problem with it. Ask you to put it on the consent agenda and approve it.
Where's that?
It's on Fourth Street.
Fourth Street.
Yeah.
What it was, the designers had proposed a multi-use path, which took more right-of-way than we actually had out there. And when it actually got to the project manager realized that, and he requested that we go from a multi-use path to just a sidewalk. So,
I like that.
hearing no opposition, you can put that on the consent agenda. Another thing, David, we gotta figure out where that money's gonna come from on the striping.
Yeah,
We need
I
to
was
get
gonna get
together
some
on that.
clarification on that before I sit down here. I need the board to give me the authorization to find the money, since y'all already approved it, all I need to go ahead to find it and put it over into Mr. Bush's maintenance.
How much do you need? Did you have any?
It's $40,000.
I thought you had.
No,
most
we'd
of it.
actually approved 138,
138.
but I don't need that. I mean, I don't need that, I just need enough to do the striping.
How much was it, Johnny, to do striping?
I got it all right here. Mr. Isha pulled it all for me.
So you didn't do any of the work after we approved that, Alan? Right?
No, he didn't do.
No,
Okay.
because Johnny went back and looked, and the money had never been transferred to my budget. So then Risha went back and pulled all the minutes and found where it was all approved, but I wanted to make sure that it came back before the board. Well, I got it right here.
You know what I'm talking about.
Approves it, I'll get with Johnny and just find the money and put it over in the maintenance budget.
I got a question.
Let me get a grip.
Yep, we're done with that. Parks took care of it.
I got a question. Since we don't have a fire coordinator, I didn't know where to bring this up, but I'm kind of looking here at the county coordinator. I've had several calls this week on the SOG with the fire department, and I couldn't answer the question. And I guess it must have been brought up when Miss Gothard went to Walsall, and I personally thought the SOG was basically with the SAFER grant. Can somebody explain to me how we're actually using that?
I can tell you what I know about it. When Gene was here, he created an SOG for the county, Standard Operating Guide, because the county didn't have any. From what I understand now, he took it to all the cities and the rural departments and said, if you want to use this, I've taken all this time to create it, you can use it. And I guess it's been sitting out there, from what I heard at the town council meeting the other night, it's been sitting out there since January. I think Vernon approved it and they're using it, but it was, the two county departments are using it. But basically he had handed it out, I guess at a fire chief's meeting or something, I don't know, and said, this is an SOG, if you want to use it, here it is. The town of Walsall, from what I understand, was very interested in using it. They loved it. They said, we want to approve it. They've gotten with their fire department, and I don't know all the details, but basically, the town of Walsall is looking at accepting it because they liked the document that Gene had created. Nobody, from my understanding, was ever said, you have to use this. Basically, he offered it out there to anybody that wanted to use it, that needed an SOG, and that's what it was.
Before he left, he'd given, I guess, everybody one, and I really didn't know that we'd enacted it, you know, because I thought it was not a finished product, which I know SOG is never really finished, but.
I don't know about all that. I know the town of Walsall is their own separate municipality. He gave them the document.
Under what guidelines did he give it to them? Just as an individual or a county employee or?
I guess he just sent it out to everybody. He said, if you want to use this and you like it or whatever, if you want to tweak it. Basically, he was offering it up to say, if you want to use it, use it. I mean, he wasn't mandating they use it.
My concern with the phone calls that I've received about it is this board has never approved the standard operating guideline for the fire departments. And all the standard operation guidelines, I mean, isn't that something that should come in front of the board?
I don't think the town of Walsall has, they don't have to do anything that the board does or doesn't do.
No, I agree.
It wasn't presented to them as that the board or the county was using it. I mean, they can take it, not take it, throw it away, put it in the garbage, whatever they want to do.
Well, I was curious.
It's a standalone document that basically, if I remember right, he offered to them and said, here's our SOG, here's the SOG I want to use for the county. The ones I want to use for the county department, take it, y'all take them.
Our SOG, what is our SOG is what I don't understand.
I guess
It's not the county.
Why are y'all looking at me? I'm just, what I hear going around. You have to have an SOG or you need an SOG.
Well, I heard that you went and spoke about it at the Walsall City Council.
I was there as a city, Mercer. I never represented myself as a county commissioner.
I didn't.
Well, I'm just saying, I've never represented myself as a county
Yeah, I just
commissioner.
didn't know that we had it in play. I guess that was my biggest question.
There was some discussion as to where the document came from.
And I have another question as well. In some of the same phone calls, because they all travels in the same circles, it was brought to my attention that Sunny Hills is no longer a member of the Chiefs Association. And how is that working out? I mean, does the city, or does the county have any representation with that board? Or do we have any correspondence with them, or?
I think we should let Al speak to that, he's the chief.
Well, I'm more than willing to. I'm just trying to, you know, I try to give educated information.
David, or?
Huh?
He got approval through chief to speak to it, Al.
Go ahead, Al.
Well, first thing on the SOGs, we're required under ISO to have SOGs in the fire department, which is just a standard operating guideline on how we operate. That's all it is.
And are you using the one now?
I had one, yes, and I took the one that Gene had.
Okay, so you,
I'm
And
using it.
Wausau's got SOGs.
Every fire department's supposed to have one.
Right.
I mean, you can have your own, you can have that one, whatever, but
well, I was just,
Gene just kind of added some that I didn't have and everything, just kind of built a better one than I had, so I just went along with it. And
it
we
just
talked
caught me
about
off guard
it.
because I thought it was kind of somewhat shelved, I guess, because when he gave it to me, I said, when are we gonna address this? And we never were able to address it.
Mhm.
And so I guess maybe in my mind, I was thinking that it was probably maybe shelved or something. And then I find out it's out there and I just didn't know
Yeah.
that we were utilizing it.
Yeah. And as far as the Fire Chiefs Association, it's not the Fire Chiefs Association, it's the Firefighters Association meeting, and we had to pay $100 a year and to go to these meetings, and I've been going to them for 5 years. And basically, I show up at a meeting, they have, some of the guys meet out in the parking lot before the meeting. We go in the meeting, we never accomplish anything. And then after the meeting, they go back and have a meeting in the parking lot, and I go home. So I figured if they don't want to talk in front of me or whatever, that's fine. Why pay my $100 and go? We hadn't accomplished one thing in 5 years since I've been there.
Do they have decision-making authority for any of the
No, sir.
fire stuff?
They have to go through you. And if I have a problem with my department, I have to go through you anyway. So,
I just know in the past that we've asked their recommendation when we changed the call-out order, I guess, with the sheriff's department. We sent it back to them, and I mean, really, just not knowing a whole lot about fire departments, I mean, I kind of like their
let
input.
me tell you about that. When that came up, it went through an executive committee, which I wasn't even a part of, and got approved that way, so I still didn't have any say-so in that. So, if I don't have a word or say in anything that's going on, there's no sense in my department paying $100 to be a member of this group that nothing's being
No,
done about
I
it.
just want to be able to answer questions when people call
And then if
me.
you miss, aren't you fined?
Yeah, if you miss, they charge you $25 or something, $20
If
or
you're not
something.
represented.
Yeah, if you're not represented, but it was all in the contracts that they had, that they were required to be a member of this if they had a contract with the county. Now, I don't have a contract with the county. Because I work directly for you.
That is the county.
Yeah, I work directly for this board.
Right, sure.
If I remember, right, didn't you and Carrie get permission from Gene to get out?
Yes, I talked to Gene about it and felt like we weren't being represented there.
I'm not
Is
questioning that
Careville
part.
still in it?
To my understanding, they're not. I don't know, I haven't talked to the Careville chief.
Have not paid their dues.
And I believe I understand when we cancel the contract with Ebro, they're not paying either, are they?
We've not received.
Yeah, they're out of it.
either.
What authority does that, of course, I need to do some more studying.
Yeah.
Because being a member was tied to the contract. So when we didn't renew the contract with Ebro, they were no longer tied to us. They're not getting county money anymore.
Well,
So,
they got what was in their account, and then, I spoke with someone the other day there, and they're relatively close. I think they gotta get their 700s and their, some other number, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either. But,
I just was dealing with just Washington County.
Right, no, I just wanna understand the process, and there's nobody here except for you to explain it, so I'm
Right,
asking.
right, and that was just my point on it, you know, and the other people may have a different perspective on it, but that was my perspective on it.
I just had felt like this board had kind of leaned on them a little bit, and now I understand your point that you answer to the board.
I answer to the board, so anything I do, I have to come to you anyway.
To the administrator, not the board.
Right, but well, that's what I'm.
Well, to the county.
Yeah, yeah. I understand that. I just, like I said, I just kind of lean on that, what I call the Board of Chiefs, because just my limited knowledge on fire, and I was just kind of curious as to how.
Well, if it worked that way, it would be nice, I'd be a member.
Check in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David, one more thing to add to Mr. Hamilton's list is the Henson Crossroads Fire Department phone. I'd like to think we could get that phone fixed between now and him coming on board, but apparently it's not been working for 7 months. And,
Yeah, I mean,
I just talked with Mr. Brock, Billy Brock about
Right.
that, and I've been corresponding with, Mr. Duke, Chief Duke on that. It has been, there's been an issue for about 10 months now.
well, I
Ken.
sure-
It's been almost a year, because he contacted me first.
I sure wish we'd have known about that, because we could have got it done a lot
Well, I
sooner.
mean, people's,
Is it in the county's name though? Or is it his personal, isn't it their 501c3's name?
no, I don't think so, because he said that was part of the problem.
They have known
Because he
about it.
wasn't on the
Been told
account.
about it, we've been told about it. It's just, now, what the hell?
I didn't think it was in the county.
Like I said, I don't know where it went, but I was told and told the right people to.
We still don't know if it's gonna be on the phone
Right.
people's side or our side.
From what the phone service said, it's on our side, but still, it's not that complicated.
I can do that.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying,
have
it's
any
two wires.
record of AT&T actually going to the facility. And so as far as I know, there's not been any checking done on it.
Well, I understood Lee to say that it had been checked to the building, and it was between AT&T's connection and our phone connection.
Okay.
But
Well,
But anyway, we're getting reimbursed if he feels like that he shouldn't pay the bill. We'll
look, I don't know that he's paying the bill. I'd have to
he
go
is
back.
paying bills.
Yeah.
His fire.
It's coming out of his fire
And
department.
see, I understood that the phone was in their name, and that it wasn't in the county's name, and we couldn't access it.
Okay,
I
I'm
heard it
looking
the
at
other way.
last month's bill, and I don't actually see anything on that bill itself to see what name it's
So that
in.
fire department had that phone put in. I don't know, but that's what I understood.
But it's also a voting precinct, and it's
Yeah.
just like Orange Hill,
Yeah.
they rent out, for things, and so I don't know.
Because
We
I'm
are on
surprised
top
that
of
the county
it.
would have a phone in building, that the county would be paying a phone bill in these community center buildings.
There's another thing, and you and I talked about that, David, in
Splitting that bill.
splitting the electric
And-
bill.
And we did, I think.
You got that took care of?
Didn't we get that? Yeah. I thought
So
we
we're
did.
doing that the same way as
Yeah.
we doing, say, Orange Hill?
Right.
Okay, very good.
Okay, it's the electric bill that's supposed to be split? Okay.
Correct.
And me and Lynn talked this morning on the phone situation, and whatever we need to do to make it right, if the county's at fault, we will, because he said in the email he had talked with Brando and,
Yep.
so
Well,
we
I'll
don't
call
get
that number
involved with that. We just
in a
fix
couple
it.
hours and check.
We'll fix the phone and pay him back.
Mr. Brock is supposed to go out tomorrow with whatever it takes to check he could not confirm that AT&T had been out.
Right.
But he said he would have a piece of equipment that will show up to the building if there's a problem to the building. And then if there's no problem up to that point, then he'll need access to the building. And I've talked with Lee about that so he can go inside and try to determine what's going on.
All right, I'm gonna put a check mark by that.
Yeah, you can write that note, we can take that off Mr. Hank's duties.
Take that off Hank's list.
Take that away from him.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
We fixed the phone. That's good.
Todd?
I've got one question. Johnny, if we're doing, and I'll ask this board, if we're doing work for the city of Vernon or the town of Caryville with county equipment,
is that something that comes in front of the board? Or the city of Wausau? Or the city of Chipley?
I don't think it has been, I know it's like the city of Chipley, who I've dealt with, it's just kind of been a mutual thing, they help us, we help them. I know Vernon, in the past, like might need a couple of loads of milled asphalt, and we'll go get it for them, and they'll reimburse us for it. I know
But what if
things
it's,
like that.
what if it's just a donation? We're over doing work in the city of Vernon for the city of Vernon. Is that something that comes in front of this board?
I don't think they have
I don't
been.
think Margaret told me in Walsall they have an interlocal agreement with us. I don't know anything about that, but
Since I've been doing this with Dallas and all, I don't know that coming before y'all.
All I'm saying is if you're taking material and hauling it to the city of Vernon, I think I would like to know about it. I mean,
Are there interlocal agreements with the cities?
I've
never heard
I don't know. That's what Margaret told me. I don't know.
Let me say that the first 2 years that I was in office, every time we done work for a municipality, it was brought in front of this board to make everybody aware of it. The city of Vernon has asked us for 10 loads of dirt for a special project, and I've never heard it be a problem. But I just want the respect to know that, you know, and I'm bringing this all up because the city of Wausau, their last board meeting, thanked two commissioners sitting on each side of me for their special work that they've had done in the city of Wausau.
And I had no idea it had been done until that newspaper. Not one person called me.
My point is, I think
Not one
this
person.
board, for the safety of all the commissioners and for the safety of this board, I think that's something that should be decided up here. Just show us the respect to let us know what's going on.
Well, we've always had an agreement with Walsall.
And I don't
We
have a
help them,
problem with it.
We help them, and they need more help.
Well, there was a big deal about the ballpark, you know, at one time, and all I'm saying is for y'all, for the board safety and for everybody, I want the respect to know that we're over there, you know, taking dump trucks off of the stuff that we've got going on and hauling 30 or 60 loads of something to the city of Wausau. I mean,
What do we take?
Remember, the constituents in the city limits still pay our foreign taxes.
sir?
Yeah.
Constituents in the city limits still pay our foreign taxes.
Johnny, what
I'm
were they
okay with that,
referencing in
I
that town meeting?
Same kind
Do you
of
know?
tax everybody else does,
What
plus
now?
2%.
What were they
I
referencing
don't-
in that
I'm
meeting?
with it,
Do you know?
Something about the
but you're doing it for
ball
different
field.
responsibilities.
No, I don't,
Well, I understand.
I handwrote the article. I
I know
don't
you
know.
do.
Something about
Rogers Park.
It was for the driveway on the ball field.
driveway on the ball field.
Okay. Well, it's a driveway.
What-
I'll take credit for it.
50 foot.
Hey, if I help the town of
George
Walsall, I'll take
Rogers
credit for
Park,
it.
but I don't know.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'm proud of
Nobody
it.
told me. I don't know
I don't have a
what
problem
it
with
was.
that.
I read about it in the paper.
I in the past, like Johnny said, we've always received a bill for the county, and we've reimbursed for any extra milled asphalt or so on and so forth. It's always been that cost.
That's not the case here.
But if I can help town Vernon, I'll take credit for that.
Thank you, town council, that's all. They reimburse.
In that situation, like I say, I've mostly dealt with the city of Chipley, them coming and helping us with their back truck and stuff like that on stuff. If it's an emergency, I mean,
They do have a walking track.
The one that, what stands out, we've helped Caryville more than any of them here recently, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that.
I'm not complaining, listen, I just wanna-
We've done a lot up there for Caryville lately. I couldn't even, you know, but either way. Jeff?
Yes, sir.
I think he was looking for me to make a motion
I
to
was,
adjourn, and
but I forgot about Jeff.
Okay.
That's okay. I've got one quick thing that's good news. We have got a CV that you should have in your packet from Matt Fuquay. If you'll remember, we bid out the magistrate services. We didn't get anybody back, so we had to go another route. Mr. Fuquay has agreed to do it at $150 an hour, which is a good, I know it sounds a lot, but it's a good rate for these services. Matt's practice is a lot like mine. You can see he does a lot of governmental work, and he does code enforcement work for the city of Blountstown, so he's qualified to do the work. It would be my recommendation with the consent of the board to go ahead and enter into a contract with Matt. I wanted to make sure that you saw his CV before you authorized me to do that.
As
He's
long
our
as,
switchboard attorney, and he's a good attorney.
as long as we stay within the budgetary amount is my only concern.
We're going to control the faucet.
Yeah, and that's good.
And another thing that we're going to do in conjunction with this is we're going to go ahead and make sure that our code enforcement rules and processes are conducive to a magistrate, because we've done this a little bit different in the past, so we will start that with staff and make sure that Matt's got the ammunition he needs to do his job.
As far as I'm concerned, we can put it on.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Anybody got any concerns? I appreciate you
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
looking into that for us.
Going above and beyond to
lining
do
Mr.
that.
Fuquay
We
up.
needed it.
And I want to thank our code enforcement officer. She, bless her heart, I sat there yesterday and she's got the patience of Job.
That's all I have.
I had to make eye contact with her before I walked out. I ran into Laura C in the hallway as I was coming out. Bless her heart, she stayed with it. And she couldn't do anything to help, but she sure was an ear to listen to that person's issues. And I want to thank you for that. That's a tough job. It's a thankless job for the most part, and it seemed funny to me. Some of the very people that wanted code enforcement, now it's kind of getting in their backyard and they're wanting it backed off. So,
You're very welcome.
but thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion. If you'll second it.
Did the clerk?
I will second it.
I did have something.
Oh, Lord.
So,
Make a motion.
I make a motion that Ms. Belk speak.
She never has anything.
well, this is just personal. I just want to say thank you so much for your thoughts and prayers for the last several weeks. And it's wonderful to be able to work with a group that we work with. That's all.
Thank you, Laura C.
I second his motion.
All right, I got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
That's not mine, but I'll hold it.
I did let you. You won the golden pen. Yeah, got my name on it.
Oh, does it?
Me, Alan, too. You got the golden pen for conducting yourself in a positive manner.
I'm a positive kind of guy. But here's the background, I was talking about the other day, when you don't know what, it's like someone gave you something, I'm like, I don't know.
I don't ever read the paper, so I never even knew what I was giving credit for. Hey, I'll take more credit back. You know, the last time